Hey friends, welcome back, or if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kay. A little bit about myself. I am a zero-based cash budgeter, and on my channel, I do the cash envelope method, and I stuff cash for my bills, my spending categories, as well as save some money. So on my channel today, I am going to be reviewing my year of 2023 and looking ahead to 2024. So this is a budget reset for the year. A small introduction about myself. I am a single income homeowner and I work as mostly a contracts administrator, and I work with school districts in the state of Texas. So that is my full-time job. And then I have a side hustle, a part-time job doing house sitting and pet sitting on the side. And then I use the cash envelope method to fund a new side business selling on Amazon. So I wanted to focus on all these three areas in my yearly reset and then see what worked, what didn't work, and what I want to take into 2024. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So if you're new, I just wanted to do a brief introduction of my setup here. We have my notebooks. I have some budgeting worksheets that I focus on every month. I have my coffee, which is vital when you budget. I have my favorite pens and my favorite highlighter, as well as my binders with my categories that I stuff for cash and their envelopes in these binders. So I start with this little notebook here. Every year and every mid-year, I set some goals for myself, and then I always do a mid-year check-in. And in my monthly videos, budgeting videos, I also do a mid-month check-in. And for me, this works very well. And so what I want to do is jump into my first notebook here with my yearly goals and review what my 2023 financial goals were. In my mid-year check-in, I was able to check off several of my goals. The only thing I wasn't able to accomplish was saving $4,000 in my savings account, and that's mostly because mid-year or early spring, I decided I wanted to try and start a business on Amazon. So 2023 quickly focused into cash stuffing for budgeting this new side business. So instead of saving that money, I was investing it in a new expense category. So one of my mid-year check-in goals was to not only launch the Amazon business, but also get reimbursed the $3,000 that I invested. And so we were able to accomplish that before the end of this year. So I'm checking off that goal as completed. I also wanted to fund an anniversary trip. I planned a winter getaway to Colorado, and that is happening next week. So that was an accomplishment. I got all of that money saved, and we are ready to go on that trip without hopefully accruing any debt. So I'm happy about that. I also wanted to pay down my mortgage principal, $200 every month. I had been doing that since I bought my new house in April of 2022. So I had been doing that, and I wanted to continue doing that, and I was able to accomplish that throughout the year. So that was a good goal, and I feel we need to move into doing that again in 2024. And then I also found out mid-year that my property taxes increased quite a bit, and so the good thing was it was a washout, because not only did my property value increase with everyone else's, but our homestead exemption also increased from like 62 or 65,000 to 100,000. So we were able to claim more on the house, which ended up being a wash. And so I didn't have to do this one. And so I sort of stopped funding that and ended with about $1,200 for property taxes that in a previous video I explained I was moving towards saving for a new laptop. So now this category didn't need to get funded. So I'm just gonna cross this out. Even though we saved for it, we didn't really need it. So I'm kind of, thrilled about that. Very few times in your life do you get to cross out a bill and not need it. So that is a win, even though it's being crossed out. I wanted to continue my $200 a month towards my month ahead account. This is mostly an emergency fund. It funds my bills so that if I were, heaven forbid, ever to be out of work or unable to work, I would have my bills covered. Currently 1 month ahead, and so I'm budgeting a month ahead and working on my second month ahead for bills and variable expenses. We did continue doing that successfully throughout the year. I'm not quite 2 months ahead yet, so that will be a goal in 2024. I wanted to start funding a summer cruise. I decided that I wanted to go on an international cruise, and so we did start doing that. Got really far. I believe I got to $1,000 this year saved for the summer cruise. Have quite a bit to go, but that was a successful goal reached. And then I wanted to keep my variable expenses low. So every month I try and keep my weekly spending down by not only reducing what I need, but also making do with what I have. And I was able to finish the year keeping my variable expenses low. And so jumping back up here to the top, I was able to save more. So I think around mid-year, I only had about $3,000 saved. And I believe I was able to save another $3,000. I checked into my high yield savings account, and it may have been a little bit more, but of course I was using my high yield savings account to store the money I had saved all year for my 2024 yearly expenses. So that number was a bit off, and I didn't really want to go through all the numbers and crunch all that math, but we did accomplish a $4,000 savings goal. And so for 2023, I feel I was extremely successful. So we're going to jump right into 2024's goals, okay? So I am challenging myself in 2024, and I am going to try and save a little bit more money. Doing the cash envelope system, I was not only able to fund some things that I needed to fund, but I found it to be a very successful way to save money. Mostly because when you're dealing with cash, it is a much different experience than dealing with a credit card. And when you are doing a zero-based cash budget, you're also assigning money a job. So instead of just spending money and depositing money and saving money kind of willy-nilly, and you're not sure, what the amounts are every month, you're kind of going through it and just doing it, at what made sense at the time instead of planning for it. And so saving money became a very interesting and welcomed side effect of cash budgeting. And I was able to save, I want to say, about $6,000 in 2023. So I'm going to try and do that for 2024. I also want to try and fully fund my cruise trip. Now, this is a bit ambitious. I was only able to save $1,000 for my cruise in 2023. So adding another $3,000 to that is very ambitious, but that is what I'm trying to do in 2024, is challenge myself. I also want to continue my $200 a month towards my mortgage principal and $200 towards my month ahead, which is my emergency fund. And I feel like that is accomplishable. And then I also was looking at my mortgage, some positive influence here on YouTube. I was following several YouTube channels on their mortgage payoff, and I was inspired to try and do that now. I'm about 25 years from retirement, but it would be really nice to be mortgage free by the time, I turn, 65 or 70. And so I want to do a little bit more this year. I want to add $40 a month, which when I was looking at my amortization calculator and schedule, I'm able to cut off another year on my mortgage term by saving $40 a month, which is really easy because I budget 4 weeks usually in the month, which is an additional $10 a month in my extra principal category. So I think this is going to be highly successful, and I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to finding out what that update is and what I was truly able to knock off my mortgage term at the end of 2024. So since I was no longer needing the property taxes, I started a new category for a new laptop. I'm not in the market for one just yet, but I did do the price checking on a really nice laptop. I want to get a MacBook Pro, and I want to get a lot of memory and a lot of storage. So I need to save about $4,000. I'm probably about 2 years away from needing that laptop, but I want to start saving now. So also, I was also inspired on YouTube by several amazing channels on the 100 envelopes challenge. So this is going to go also with this goal here of tracking the high yield savings account interest on this 100 envelope challenge. So I've decided to not cash stuff like you see on YouTube with boxes and binders and keeping the cash in the house. What I've decided to do is cash out about every $100, replacing it with a prop bill or a placeholder, and putting that 100 in my high yield savings account just to see what sort of interest this challenge can earn me in a year. So not only do I want to complete the 100 envelopes challenge, which is about $5,000, which is highly ambitious as well for me, but I also want to start tracking the high yield savings account interest, since I do have a compound interest account, which means that my interest that I earn in that account will earn interest throughout the year. So I've opened up a separate high yield savings account to hold specifically just my 100 envelopes money. And so I just need to transfer that money in on January 1 so that it is good to go. And I believe I've saved about $415 so far in 2023. So we're starting off the year with about $400, which will earn interest for February, and so on and so on. And so I'm going to try and add money, at least $100, $200, $250 every month towards that. And then to jump back up here, I need to invest some more energy into the Amazon side business. So I had a goal at the beginning of December to add new products to the store in 2024. And I'm going to continue with that goal. I'm going to try and continue to fund the expenses category, about $600 every 6 months to fund a new product in the store and launch it. So those are the goals for 2024, is at least 2 new products. And then I also want to continue keeping my variable expenses low. I want to try and contest my property taxes this year, or property value this year, because I wasn't able to do it in 2023. I was told by the appraiser that I should be able to bring it down in 2023 since housing rates went down. Now, of course, interest rates went up for all you poor folks looking for a house, but I at least can do this goal in 2024. At some point, I think in June, I believe we can contest, maybe in May, we can contest, and so that is my goal for May. And then this final goal, I didn't really want to get too far into personal goals, but I did find myself in this circle of financial goals intersecting with personal goals, and I stumbled upon a new budgeting channel, and I want to send you over to Jed at the Eager Vlogger. She has an amazing video on the work passion life that she is focusing on in 2024. This young woman is so eloquent, and her videos are very well thought out and organized. I am impressed so much, and I can see her being extremely successful in 2024. I want to encourage everyone to jump on over there and subscribe to her channel. You're going to want to follow her. I do believe she's going to accomplish some great goals this year. And so, and she was talking a lot about work, passion, and life balance. And I sat with this concept for quite a while. I want to say at least 5 days. And in my personal life, purpose had always been one of my lifetime goals, is making sure that I'm living with purpose. And purpose is different for everyone, and it's sort of an intangible concept. We can explain passion, right? These are the things that feed our souls, that make us want to get up every day. YouTube is a passion. Passions change, they evolve. They either, they feed us for a moment, like they're a seasonal passion. And so passion has always I've been a part, but now in this phase in my life, purpose is also very important. So passion for me is Amazon, it's YouTube, it's the things that I want to accomplish, right? But I also, because I tend to be a very competitive person with myself, not with anyone else, but I like to set goals and accomplish my goals, and I'm very goal oriented. I can lose sight of my purpose. because I'm so busy accomplishing. And so I was talking with several, I want to say even Jerry at One Frugal Introvert, we were talking about self-care as a 2024 goal. And our goals are always going to evolve, right? But I started listing out all of these personal goals, and they really just fell under the umbrella of more self-care in 2024. So I had a great passion for most of my life with self-care, and not like hair and nails or anything like that, but more about nutrition, exercise, health, really, just health, and that mind-body connection. And I lost sight of that in 2023 because I introduced two very big time sucks, which is YouTube and Amazon, along with the fact that I'm working a full-time job and a part-time job. So, and dealing with family issues. We had quite a few family issues, and I didn't talk about it on YouTube, but family, I really struggled this year trying to get comfortable with a new normal. My parents are aging, my children are getting older. I had a life-changing event in 2022, and so I've just really was keeping myself very busy and trying to get over that hump of all these changes at one time. So I lost sight of self-care, and I really want to get into this mind-body connection, and that's going to be all kinds of things for me. I may have to start an envelope for yoga because I really want to get back into yoga. I'm exercising again, and I'm eating healthier again. I still need to work on some other wellness goals, like getting and staying hydrated, and going to the doctor more. I tend to neglect myself, getting my annuals. I don't do that kind of thing. So definitely that, as number one. And self-care, of course, costs money. So that's why it's making it into my financial goals. So I'm not sure about the details on this, and I will get more detailed as the year goes by. I want to stay open and flexible to changes, because even though you can dedicate time to your passion, sometimes your passions don't fulfill your purpose. They become, they don't give you the return that you think you're going to invest in all this passion stuff, and you think it's going to be great, but in the end it wasn't as fulfilling as you thought. And so I want to also keep a very balanced focus on purpose as well, which also means being mindful of how I use my time. I am pulled in a lot of directions, and I'm finding myself getting lost and losing time thinking about my budget, or thinking about the Amazon business, or working with the animals and houses that I help. And I don't focus enough time on the important people in my life. I don't focus on myself. And so being mindful of how I use my time is definitely going to fall in line with my purpose and this whole work-life balance. Because again, I still have a 9-to-5. It's a very demanding 9-to-5 as well. And so staying within my 40 hours is another goal of mine, which again, financially, the 40 hours, I know I can budget. I don't want to count on overtime. Overtime is not something that is encouraged at my work. So I want to be able to, instead of working overtime, fulfill a lot of my life goals. I also came across some words that resonated with me that also fall in line with financial goal setting. Those were connection, integration, and unity. These are my goals my words for 2024. YouTube meets a lot of these life, passion, purpose. These words really resonate in YouTube. They resonate in how I do life, right, with all of these other side businesses. I want to find ways to seamlessly create sort of a rhythm in my life for all the things that I want to do, so that I feed my passion. But also I want to make sure that, the connection, it aligns with my purpose. Because if any one of these categories doesn't work for me, you better believe it, I'm going to drop it, because life is too short to be stressed out. So if I feel any kind of way about my budget, or about my hobbies, or my side incomes, or even my tasks at work, I'm going to evaluate the connection that it has for me and see if it falls within these goals here. And if it doesn't, then that means we're not connecting on that issue. And so we will either remove it or replace it. But yeah, so thank you so much for hanging out with me. This was a bit long-winded, but there were quite a few things to think about this year for me. I asked myself quite a few questions. I think that 2024 is going to be a very ambitious year. With that being said, YouTube is here to stay for a while. I can see YouTube being just an extension of my family. So I hope you feel that on my channel. I really do care about all of you, and I am so excited to cheer you on your goals. So catch me on the next video. I'm gonna just do a back-to-back filming, and I will see you guys again soon.